Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, November the 27th, 2024. Let's dive right into it. Bingo, Sasha is pregnant. Sasha is pregnant with Michael's child. Now, Sasha has suffered way too much tragedy in General Hospital over the last 2.5 years. Let her have this healthy baby. Seriously. I mean, I don't think mentally she could handle losing two of her kids. She just can't. Um, and that's her worry. She's talking to Maxie and that's her worry. And it would be my worry too. Come on now. So Maxie, gorgeous bathroom that house has. Bathroom is too big. Well, no, I don't know the actual size of that house, but that's a huge bathroom. Lulu gonna want her house back. Cause Lulu did walk in and Maxie was still in the bathroom uh with Sasha. Now she didn't watch Sasha pee on the stick. But they are in there waiting. Or actually, they're talking, waiting for the timer to go off. Maxie's distracting her. Little James, who had hurt himself, scraped his little arm earlier from trying to jump from the bed to the door because he pretends the floor has hot lava, scratched himself. Maxie put a bandage on him. Um, and James is too cute. I mean, he and the little actress Violet, they were good little actors. He Violet is, and so is he. Now he just can't sing and play an instrument, but precocious as all get up. I love him. So he's supposed to be going to bed. He was supposed to be in bed when he did his little Houdini, right? So, well, while they're in the bathroom, guess who comes out the kitchen? Now Lulu walked in the house and she's looking around like, this is not what my house looks like, right? And he comes with his little plate with 3 cookies, big cookies. Who are you? He says. And she goes, who are you? And what are you doing in my house? And he goes, this is my house or our house. What are you doing into our house? And so Lulu says, this is 34 Cherry Lane, whatever she said that the address was. And she goes, my house is on blah, blah, blah. He goes, no, because that's my address. And you don't live here. And she goes, listen, I know you must be lost, little boy. I can get you home to where you live. James just says, Mommy, stranger danger, stranger danger. Maxie comes running out with either a baseball bat or a golf club, and Sasha has something. Where's the stranger, James? And he's sitting on the couch eating. I think he's down to 2 cookies now. He goes, she left. She ran out the front door. And Maxie says, James Nathan West. And she goes, what have I told you about abusing stranger danger? But I wasn't abusing stranger danger. There was a lady here, and she was in our house. She was standing right there, right? And Maxie said, so Sasha says, Maxie, I'll let you handle this. I'm gonna go. Cause she and Maxie I'm just not gonna repeat their whole long heart-to-heart conversation. Maxie's saying she's there for her. There's a whole family there for her, right? With this pregnant, whatever she chooses to do. So Sabanelli comes in and he's hearing Maxie, talking. He goes, what's going on? She goes, James is abusing stranger danger or abused stranger danger, said there was a strange woman that walked through our front door because there was one, little James says, right? She won't believe me. And so Spinelli says, well, I have a way to solve that. And Maxie said, how? He said, because I installed a camera, a hidden camera a couple days ago that shows our front door. So he takes out his phone, and I'm thinking, well, now you're going to have to reposition, get another one for a better position. Because if you had it facing the, like a ring or a blink, where when somebody touches your knob, rings your bell, you see their face, right? Because when he took it out and they looked at it, and there was Lulu. And Maxie's looking like, what? But she had the hoodie on, remember? There was a woman. And she knew where the spare key was. Because Maxie, before Spinelli got home, and she said, okay, James, because he goes, she went out the door. She opened the door. She's looking, right? Sasha was with her, and she goes, the spare key is gone. So Sasha went back in the house with her, and then Sasha says, I'm gonna let you handle this, and Sasha leaves. So he said, and she knew where the spare key was, and they saw Lulu walk right in the house, and he goes, can't you even see her face? He goes, well, I mean, the positioning of the camera just shows her hood. So James, while they were investigating or talking about it, Maxie says, James, you sit down on the couch and you read one of those books on the, the sofa, the table, in table, coffee table. He picks up the album. I said, oh, he's gonna see a picture of Lulu, right? He's flipping, and he goes, there she is, right there. And they look, and it's Lulu, and they just look at each other, right? Trying to figure out, do we believe James? But the woman, you can see her blonde hair coming from the hoodie. She knew where the key was. I kind of think they believe James, right? My first phone call would have been to Lucky, saying, Lucky, is Lulu okay? Or Lucky, we think Lulu was just here, right? Well, earlier, Lucky and Liz had gone to Turning Woods, and boy, was Lucky giving them what for, right? Told him he wants a footage of the cameras. And the guy says, well, it'll be tomorrow because there's protocol. Lucky says, you're going to give me that footage tonight. He says, or I'm calling the cops. Because they're like, she probably was placed in the wrong room. He goes, what kind of facility are you running here? Right. So um they told him Cyrus Renault, who's a regular visitor, and has authorization to make decisions for the patient. And Lucky says, he absolutely does not have authorization to make decisions for the parent. For my sister, for the patient, has authorization to make decisions for the patient. And so he says, well, I mean, Mayor Collins is, she's busy and he volunteers here. He goes, he still doesn't have permission to do I know you didn't get that. Like in writing from my mother. And so he says, Elizabeth says, and Laura told Cyrus when Lulu was at the hospital, he could only visit her with her permission. And he kept visiting, so she took him off the list for, you know, unlimited visiting. So why would she give him control over decision making? So Lucky went tearing over to where Cyrus works, and guess what? His hair is getting a little longer. They slicked it back with some gel, and they got a teeny tiny ponytail growing, teeny tiny, to make him look more the way he used to look. I mean, I think it's real cute right now. When it was so long, I didn't like it when it was down his back. I didn't like that at all. But this looks okay, right? So they get there, and of course, Lucky's accusing him, saying, what did you do with my sister? And why would you ever say that you have decision, the authority to make decisions over my sister? And so Cyrus was, but Cyrus already knew because he has a guy, one of the orderlies working there, giving him updates on anything that happens with Lulu, you know, which is, okay, it's pretty cool. Who else is doing that? But I still think Cyrus is up to no good completely to me, right? So Cyrus gave Lucky as good as Lucky gave Cyrus. Cyrus said, because he goes, I'm family. And Lucky says, no, you're trouble. And you do not have the authority to make decisions or even come around my sister. So Lucky says, why don't you try being in town more than 30 days and spend time with your son? And then or spend time with your family. He may have even said son, and then talk to me about you and family. Boy, that hit. Elizabeth just kind of looked like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mm. Tell him, Cyrus, right? So, Lucky, he ready to now get into a brawl. And Elizabeth says, Lucky, we're not going to get into a fight because you're not going to get arrested. Okay? We're going to go. So Lucky looks at her because she has her hand like on his chest because he was getting ready to. And she's like, no, we're not doing that. We got to find your sister. Right? So I guess his phone vibrated. So he looks at Cyrus and he walks over to the side of the bar area with Elizabeth in the restaurant. My allergies are acting up, y'all. I took some Benadryl. But anyway, um, he says, oh, this is Turning Woods. They sent me the footage. They're watching, and there she is. They watched her come out of her room, watched her come right over behind the nurse's desk there and watched her open the drawer and conveniently grab clothes that somebody keeps in a drawer with a pair of shoes as well. Must be one stinky drawer, but it was convenient writing, right? For her. So uh Elizabeth looks and he looks, she goes, Lulu's awake. Yeah, Lulu's awake, right? So Lulu then goes from her place to the Quartermains. Now, mind you, here's my thing. The Quartermains don't live close to where Lulu used to live, her house. The Quartermains live on a road, like a not a private road, but it is. It's an exclusive area where they live. So perhaps I'm assuming she took the $20 that Cody gave her, and nope, that theory doesn't hold water because she doesn't have a phone to order an Uber. She couldn't stand outside and say taxi, taxi. It's not mid city. Lord have mercy, this person that just woke up can walk for miles just after having a a liver transplant. Lulu's Superwoman. So she walks by the boathouse, and there's Geo. He's playing his violin. He and Lois were talking earlier. I fast forwarded their whole conversation. Who cares? Lois and um Olivia were talking because Chase and Brooklyn were running upstairs to start making that baby or continuing to make that baby. And they were talking about grandkids. Fast forward. Geo's there. I mean, Geo, they just throw him in nothing scenes because he has no real purpose. And they said, okay, since he's a real violinist, we will feature him playing parts of a song, randomly whenever we can, because he practices, at night. So let's get a little practice scene. Show Geo. So Lulu walked past and he was playing, right? And she was asking him, was he hired to do an event for, the Quartermains? And he says, no, he lives there. And she says, really? And he goes, she's like, you family? He goes, well, kind of, sort of. It's complicated, but, Lois, uh, It's like family to me, Lois in Brooklyn, and so she invited me to stay here. And Brooklyn says, Lois Cirillo is here? And he goes, yeah. And so when he asked her name, of course, Lulu's not giving nobody her name, which is stupid. You came to the Quartermain house. What's your name, trespasser? Right? Don't give me 20 questions. I actually look like I belong here. You, on the other hand, are wearing a hoodie. Right? So she, just tells him, she won't bother his practice anymore, continue playing or whatever she said. She leaves. Lulu walks up, walks right in the front door. There's just no security on the Quartermain estate. She walks right in and she's looking around like, this house looks different. And in my mind, I'm thinking, no, the actual remodel of that house was a good 10 years ago or more, probably 10. It was looking that way when Lulu was awake before she went into her coma. They haven't done any major redecorating since then, right? So, well, let's see. Yeah, no. So anyway, um, she walks into that family room area because she took her hoodie down when she walked in the front door. She's looking for Tracy, probably. Even though was Tracy in town when it all happened, she knows Tracy's in and out. But all of a sudden you heard mom, and she heard a voice, and she turned around, and she had to look up because Rocco's tall, right? Rocco and Danny. So she looked up and she said, Rocco? Like, what? What did I miss? She's still thinking she's only been out a day or two. Right? What? Huh? So it ended there. I'm happy they didn't have her lurking in and out of the shadows because she needs some anti-rejection meds like right away for her kidney, I mean liver. So anyway, um, we'll see where that goes. The rest, the next 2 days. Then we have. Let's get to the good part. The good part is the trial. Rick uh is really just hammering. Actually, he's browbeating the witness, and the prosecutor kept objecting, saying, Your Honor, he is browbeating the witness. He is making statements for the witness. I mean, and so the judge like sustained, you're on very thin ice, and he just hammered in on the fact that it was her fault that the baby uh, was dead, that it was an accident, right? But she definitely was not invited to Ava's. So it was an accident relating to her actions, right? They called Natalia. I was wondering, why was Natalia there? And she testified because he goes, Were you in an accident? No, what, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, Well, I'll take your word for the date because I don't quite remember the exact date, but yes, I was. Who was in the accident with you? Or, Christina Corinthos Davis. And so Rick played the 911 call that Natalia made. But in the 911 call, it doesn't say that Christina hit her. She didn't say all that. Or because nobody hit anything, but Christina's car, she went off the road. Natalia's car was minor, if that, you know, enough that she said, he goes, Did you file an insurance claim? She goes, No, we decided to take care of it between us. And he goes, Did you make any other phone calls? What was Christina's state of mind? And so Natalia says she was a little shaken because of the accident, but, other than that, she was okay. And then he goes, Did you make a call? She goes, Yes, I called her father, Sonny Corinthos. And he came. He goes, Okay. So she wasn't erratic and whatever adjectives he said about Christina. She goes, no. And so he goes, okay, Miss Ramirez, who caused the accident? She said, I did. Sorry to say. And Sonny looked kind of perked up, and Christina looked like, oh, okay. She's saying that. She said, I had received a text from my daughter, Allie. We are estranged. We have been for months. And this is the first time she reached out to me. So I'm sorry to say I glanced down. And when I looked up, I had veered into the other lane. He goes, so you're saying under oath you were the cause of the accident? She said, yep. See, since they didn't do a police report, there's no statement. In the 911 call, she didn't say a car veered into my lane. Rick says, no further questions, Your Honor. I mean, no further questions. Yeah, Your Honor. And so she goes, prosecution, do you want to question the witness? She goes, no. So Allison was just stepped down, right? But anyway, the prosecution made her closing remarks, and Rick made his closing remarks. And I'm going to tell you, if I need an attorney, no, it's Diane Miller, hands down, definitely. But if Diane is not available, it's a toss-up between Nora Gannon and Rick Lansing. Because Nora Gannon from One Life to Live, doggone good. Nora Gannon could give Diane a run for her money. But so could Rick, but Diane could still okey doke Rick. She could still get him. Now, Alexis knows Rick's tricks. And Alexis, in a trial that a non-family member is involved with, I do believe Alexis could take Rick as well. But only because she knows Rick's psyche and she knows the things that Rick will do. Just like she knew the prosecution wasn't doing a good enough job in shutting down Rick the way he was browbeating Christina. So Alexis stood up. Your Honor, he is out of line. Oh, Alexis slapped down some legal jargon. He is brow. Oh, she was a mama bear. And she goes, the judge hit the gavel and says, Miss Davis, you have no jurisdiction in this trial. You will be quiet or you'll be removed from this courtroom. Forcibly removed. Alexis kept talking because she's letting the jury hear this too, right? Alexis. And the judge looked at her bailiff, and the bailiff was starting to stand up to go and remove Alexis. And Sonny stood up and said, we're leaving. So he stood up and grabbed Alexis's arms, and he went outside with her, right? But and so then the judge looked at Mr. Rick and he goes, no further questions, Your Honor. See, Alexis was the one that was able to shut Rick down, as unorthodox as it may have been, right? I was like, okay, that was a calculated move. Could have been held in contempt, but she was ejected. And so she told Sonny, she said, see, my eyes a little puffy because of allergies. She told Sonny, she says, he goes, let me take you home, Alexis. She goes, no, I'm going to stay right out here. Our daughter needs you. You go back into that courtroom and you be there for her. So Alexis she's like, good, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. The judge had called a 10-minute recess, right? Which was good. So she stayed right out there. So when Rick called Molly told the truth but she didn't elaborate. Rick would have loved for her to really show emotion uh, with talking about how volatile her sister was, and Molly didn't give that to him. So he pretty much was done with Molly because Molly's looking at him. Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't going to really try to break things, break Molly down, right? So when she got off the stage, one thing TJ didn't like, when the 10-minute break came, right? And he said, no further questions. And Christina was stepping down from the witness box. Uh, Drew, Molly, TJ says, oh, how are you feeling about this? And she said, I forget what Molly said, but she headed right over to Christina and she hugged her because Rick had ripped her to shreds, right? And TJ just looked at that because remember, TJ hates Christina, period, because for what happened, right? And he just looked at Molly, respond to her sister that way. Huh. And so after the trial, was it after? Because Rick then questioned put Ava on the stand. Ava did a doggone good job. She was honest. She told the truth. She actually told the truth, exactly the way it happened, period. And Rick, she was saying, how she lost her child and she would never want another mother to go through that. But I'm thinking, see, the half truth is no, you were goading her. You were telling her what a lush of a mother she had. And oh, yeah, you weren't thinking of a pregnant woman and her hormones and her baby when you were being vicious to her, Ava, because you were definitely vicious, right? That part wasn't told. So um after that, somehow Christina was in the lobby with, because Rick did his closing statement. The prosecutor did her closing statement. Rick did his closing statement, which was really good. Rick was an excellent closer. And I think the judge dismissed everybody while she somehow it was uh judge is gonna send judge instructed the bailiff to take the jury to the jury room to deliberate, and courts adjourned until the deliberation. Yeah, that's what happened. So Christina went out to the lobby with Alexis um, and Sonny, and Alexis hugged her and everything. And then TJ looked at Molly again after Rick made such a compelling argument that it was a horrible, horrible accident. There was no premeditation. Ava did not invite, she didn't say, oh, I'm going to have Christina come over here so we can. Christina did all that herself. So Christina says, they have to find her guilty. They have to come back. They have to make Ava pay. And Alexis just looked at her and said, you did your best, Christina. That's all you can do. No, but see, she just, Christina, there's something fundamentally wrong with her. I'm telling you, the girl is bipolar, right? Because she's just not just one-sided. She didn't think one thing. Like when Rick really broke her down, and she still was flustered. She was upset because she said, "No, I love my baby. I love my." She's only dealing with feelings that she wants to deal with, right? Not feelings of, yeah, she has said on other occasions, I shouldn't have gone there. But it didn't really sink home with her that, doggone it, I shouldn't have gone there. Let me be quiet. Let me reflect. on my actions and reflect on what I know happens. Ava did not push her. She knows that. See that Christina doesn't have that fundamental faculties for stuff like that, right? And so then TJ asked Molly again, like, what do you think? And she says, pretty much, I think it was an accident. She didn't say, I think it was an accident. She said something, and I wish I would have wrote it down because what she's saying is really her father, the way he laid that out, Rick may have accomplished what he wanted, that this was an accident, period. And Molly's just looking, and TJ's like, wow. You know, he wasn't upset. He was more looking crazy when she went over to Christina and hugged her during that first 10-minute break. But after, he was just like, what are you thinking now, Molly? So we'll see. I think Rick did accomplish what he set out to with his daughter. And Ava's definitely gonna get off. We already know that because she's not going to jail for this. And then we just gonna have to deal with the custody hearing of Avery and Ava, because Rick is going to definitely represent her on that as well. We all know that's going to happen. So let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. I didn't have it queued up. I'm getting ready to queue it up right now. There are 71 comments in comment corner. This time I am going from the bottom up, and it's taken me a minute to scroll down to the bottom of comment corner. Here we go. Okay. Lisa says the tube has to be fastened to the face, so he didn't see much. What tube? The tube when Lulu was laying in the bed. Yeah, but you could see her facial features. But you know what? I guess so. TR Treasure says Lulu tells Cody that she wasn't going to let him know where to drive her address because he was a stranger. She just hitchhiked and got in a stranger's car. Come on. Exactly. I can almost understand how Cody didn't recognize her. She had to wait, she had that brain cap on. Did she still have a brain cap on? I didn't see a brain cap on. They didn't show her face. Did they show this? I don't know that they showed, because they were trying to hide the identity of the actress. Uh it was night in the dark. No, she had the hoodie on from the sweat top. You could see her whole face. They were talking. At least Cody gave her his phone number and some cash. LaShunta says, come through, Sasha. Where Cyrus get the authority to transfer Lulu? I know. That's what Laura gets. Poor Lulu's scared. Cyrus shouldn't have been visiting her. I'm over the trial. Alexis told Christina Rick would use her behavior against her. Yep. What mayoral duties is Laura doing? Have a seat, ADA. Need to go hard because Ava's constantly lying, changing her story several times. Can't stand Rick. I'll be glad when it's over. Well, it's almost over now. Realistically, it'll be over next week. He needs to be ashamed of himself. Well, you know what? It was an accident. In this case, he came through for his client, right? LaShunta says Aurora was bought with Jason's money. Yes, it was. It was definitely bought with Jason's money. Um, Lisa, let me see. Now we have Lucy says, love GH Tuesday episode. Question, since Thursday has a rerun episode and Friday ABC is airing football, will you hear Ava Jerome's trial verdict, or will it be in December? tomorrow in December. I think it'll be in December. Um, yeah, that's what I think. Renee says, valid question. Lucy says to Renee, all we can do is tune in next time. Yep, I believe it'll be next week. Um, Jackie says, I think Cody has a dementia and knew that was Lulu. Oh, you think so? What do you mean has dementia? No, Cody don't have no dementia. Cody gets some glasses. Rick killed Christina in court. She looked nervous. Yes, he sure did. He got her good. Um, you know what? I forgot to do my trusty dusty stopwatch, everybody. I've been going on. There we go. Lorenzo says Sonny and Alexis both knew their daughter was lying. Sonny has an agenda tied to her lie, and that's his hatred for Ava in custody of Avery. Alexis' agenda is the same old encouraging Christina's wrong. As a parent and an attorney, Alexis should be ashamed of herself for feeding Christina hope for crusades against Ava. Both Alexis and Sonny aren't healthy or helpful to or for Christina. That's true. But Alexis kept, like, look, she didn't give her that much hope, right? Georgetta says, always been her crutch, enabled bad behavior. Yes, she has. And then Lisa says, remember Lulu was on a ventilator and her hair was covered in a bandage. I wonder why, because they didn't, oh, maybe to monitor brain, well, they didn't monitor brain activity too well. Although, no, in the hospital, she still had no brain activity. That was when she went to Turning Woods. So we didn't have a clear look at her face. Um, Plus, Dante with Sam, he was with Sam when Cody came to town. So he wasn't walking around with a picture of his ex. No, but anyway, they're just showing he didn't pay attention because look, even if she had a head bandage on, I've got a head wrap on right here, right? Y'all could see what my face looked like. Although with a big, okay. Well, I'll let that slide. Um, if Lulu had told him her name, he would have put two and two together. I know yeah. I'm digging Lulu. And then Cindy says that was DB. Cindy says exactly. I don't know why so many people are shocked that Cody didn't recognize her. In the hospital, her eyes were closed. Her face was largely obstructed with medical equipment. She was wearing a hoodie when he gave her a ride. Yeah, okay, all right. Like I said, I'll drop it. I will drop that. Lorenzo says, Rick is stealing the show. Great character. Hate him or love him. I know. I ain't too mad at Rick. It would be great if he kept, if to keep him long term as a lead villain. Rick is a villain, though. That is 100%. He's a villain. You see how he was going to let Alexis go down for the murder of Kate. See, he didn't care. Um, Alicia says Laura's performing mayoral duties all the day. I know. Come on now. Please. She can't be in town enough to be a mayor. P. Merle had the laughing emojis. DB says Laura Collins, the mayor, win. I know. That's like Jordan solving a crime when they don't never solve. Neither does Anna. Cindy says right, and Laura would have answered her phone immediately if she saw it was Turning Woods. No matter what city emergency was happening, she would have had the deputy mayor take over when necessary. um, it was at least her assistant would have reached out to her by phone. Lucy and Alicia says, like Anna Devane closing a case. Exactly. That's exactly what I am saying. And then DM Taylor says, do y'all think Cyrus kidnapped? Nope. Lulu walked out on her own. And P. Merle says, I wouldn't be surprised. Nope. Cyrus is evil. Lulu walked out. Well, we saw Lulu looking at the fire alarm. PE says yes. And then DM says, yeah, I think Cyrus has been up to a lot that we haven't seen on camera, and it's all going to come out and show what he's been planning for the last few months, down to killing Sam. Goodness, he may have done that. And are they trying to make Lucky the new Sam? What do you mean, Lucky the new Sam? I can't see him being a cop again, because there's too many cops in town right now. You know, I completely forgot Lucky was a cop. Oh my goodness. Completely I forgot that. And then last comment, Anita says, Rick is really crushing Christina. I love it. Christina refused to listen to Alexis. She is so stubborn, headstrong, self-absorbed. Me, my baby. I loved her. What a crock. And then DB says, you know, her mommy and daddy tell her to yell objection. Yeah, I know. Ugh. Anyway, that's it for it for Comic Corner. We shall see how many days. Normally, they do have the Thanksgiving Day turkey mess up episode on General Hospital, but I do believe Friday they won't. But we'll see when the next General Hospital airs, and I'll be back.